Good evening, everyone, and welcome to MIT 100K Accelerate. I'm Christina, and I'm one of the managing directors of the MIT 100K this year, along with Supriya and William, who will be joining us virtually today. We're really excited to have you join us both in person here and on the live stream from wherever you may be in the world. For those of you who aren't familiar, the MIT 100K competition started over 30 years ago when a group of students teamed up with the MIT professor Ed Roberts to bring the school's Mens et Manus motto to life through a startup competition. With Ed's help, they raised $10,000, just enough to spark an entrepreneurial movement that's only grown since. Thanks to generous sponsors, that initial 10K grew to 50K and eventually became the 100K prize we know today. But this competition isn't just about one big night. It's a year-long journey. It kicks off with Pitch in December, moves into Accelerate, happening today, and leads up to launch in May, where finalists compete for the 100K grand prize.
Of course, this is all made possible by our incredible sponsors. First, a big shout out to Nobel DAO, founded by members of the Nobel family as a pioneering tech ecosystem. Their commitment to entrepreneurship and innovation perfectly aligns with the spirit of this competition. We also want to thank Akamai. Akamai is one of our greatest success stories. They actually competed in the 1998 MIT 100K and have since grown into the industry leader that you all know and love. Now they're paying it forward, helping young entrepreneurs chase their dreams. And a heartfelt thank you to the Morgan Thaler Foundation. In honor of the late David Morgan Thaler, an MIT alum and a true champion of entrepreneurship, they've not only sustained but also increased their sponsorship this year, deepening their impact on MIT's startup ecosystem. Let's give them a big round of applause.
And of course, this competition is made possible by our preliminary round judges who volunteered their time reviewing applications and providing crucial feedback to ensure the competition's fairness. And now to introduce the judges on the panel tonight. First up, we have Bruce Crawford. Bruce is a Sloan alumnus and CEO of Nona Technologies, an MIT technology spinout that develops decentralized desalination equipment. Bruce worked at Rivian Automotive prior to Sloan and has a background in M&A and product development finance. While at Sloan, Bruce participated in the Delta V and Momentum accelerators and won the grand prize in the 100K launch competition. Next, we have John Hartthorne. John earned his MBA from MIT Sloan, where he actually won the MIT 100K grand prize back in 2007. He went on to found Mass Challenge, one of the world's most startup-friendly accelerators, helping 3,000 startups raise over $8.5 billion in funding, generating $3.5 billion in revenue and creating 180,000 plus jobs. Now he's the founder and managing director of Two Lanterns Venture Partners, a seed fund investing in US and Israeli software startups. Awarded 2013 Young Global Leader by the World Economic Forum and EY Social Entrepreneur of the Year, John has dedicated his career to empowering entrepreneurs just like the ones we have today. Next, we have Maya Heyman. Maya began her career in tech banking in Palo Alto, underwriting debt financings for public and private tech companies at Bank of Boston and Robertson Stephens. She later launched Bank Boston Ventures' Palo Alto office in 1998 and became president after its merger with Bank of America. With 25 plus years in venture capital and tech banking, Maya has served on 30 plus boards with 4 IPOs and 50 plus successful M&A exits. In 2018, she co-founded Converge VC, an early-stage fund investing in disruptive B2B tech startups from pre-seed to Series A. Last but not least, we have Sebastian Barriga. Seb holds an undergrad degree from the University of Texas at Austin and an MBA from MIT Sloan. He began his career in investment banking for 10 years, spending some time at Citigroup before transitioning to private equity, where he spent another 10 years at Carlyle, investing in global markets. He also gained operating experience helping turn around a food company in Brazil. In 2023, Seb founded Milemark Capital, an investment firm backing early stage startups led by diverse teams from innovation hubs focused on scalable AI driven businesses.
Let's give it up for those judges one more time. Thank you. Finally, we want to thank everyone on our MIT 100K organizing committee. Let's give them a big round of applause. Our team members invested countless hours to ensure that today is a success, and without them, none of this would be possible. We also want to recognize our audio and video production teams at MIT, which have always been so helpful in enabling this hybrid event. Thank you, guys. Okay, now let's get to the main event. In February, nearly 60 teams applied to compete in tonight's event, and our network of external judges reviewed each application in the preliminary round. This evening, the top 11 teams will compete for the grand prize of $10,000, the second place prize of $3,000, the third place prize of $1,000, and the Audience Choice Award of $1,000. We'll start off with 90-second pitches from our 11 finalists to give you an overview of the exciting ventures that they've been working on. Each finalist will then take about 3 minutes of questions from the judging team and to dive into their ideas. After that, you all will have a chance to engage with our finalists as the booths are set up outside past the room with the tables with the food, where dinner will also be served. We encourage you as the audience members to ask questions and make an informed vote for your Audience Choice Award. To all of our competitors competing tonight, best of luck. And to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Please sit back and enjoy the show. Let's get to the pitches.
So, our very first pitch of the night comes from Guardian, an AI-powered platform that helps SMBs protect against commodity price volatility.
Fuel distributor in Dallas, Texas, experienced a 20% increase in their diesel costs due to unexpected volatility in energy markets. This put him in a really tough position. He either had to hike prices and lose customers, or absorb the costs and shrink his own margins. When he turned to his bank for commodity hedging solutions, he found them to be too expensive and too complex for his needs. Mr. Roberts isn't alone. In the US, there are 8 million small businesses across construction, manufacturing, and logistics that have a combined exposure of over $1 trillion worth. Moreover, in small businesses, raw materials can make up to 60% of their total cost footprint, leaving them particularly vulnerable to price swings. Volatility is a massive risk for them, but it doesn't have to be. Meet Guardian, the simple platform that helps small businesses lock in price stability without having to deal with traditional hedging complexity and the high fees that banks offer today. They're able to tackle this issue by simply choosing their commodity, choosing their volume required, and the coverage period. And our platform seamlessly optimizes derivatives into a simple, transparent protection plan, no finance expertise required. With Guardian, small businesses can help themselves manage risk effortlessly, allowing them to stabilize their costs, protect their margins, and grow with confidence. Remember, prices fluctuate, but Guardian protects. Thank you so much, and we'll open it up to questions.
Great job. Great job. Can you tell us how far along you are in terms of building the platform?
So right now, what we've done is we've done a series of discovery calls to kind of gauge market need. And what we put together is a front end to be able to simulate that simple user flow. And as we've identified as next steps is essentially getting compliancy regulation certification to be able to help construct these portfolios.
And then one follow-on. Will you be taking on the balance sheet risk as you aggregate, as you take off the commodity risk? Will you take it on and then you'll find a counterparty to lay it off to? Is that your plan?
That's a good question. So our first versions, we will not be taking the balance sheet risk. We're going to be like asset light, being the middleman between the SMB, aggregating the demand, and connect with the broker. So we're going to be aggregating demand and pass it on. So we're going to be like facilitating the process, but not taking the balance sheet risk.
You mentioned regulatory oversight. Can you talk a little bit about the regulatory burdens and like, do you need to be a broker dealer? Or are you passing that through to other people? And then also, I was curious about the risk factor. There still must be some layer of risk in terms of your promise to offer commodities in a very volatile and confusing market. Talk a little bit about the regulatory oversight and the remaining risks.
Exactly, that's a great question. So for us to be able to participate in this space, we'll have to be a commodity trading advisor certified, as well as a member of the National Futures Association. So those are examinations and I would say compliancy requirements to make sure that we're reading the right reporting requirements to be in good standing with them. And then from our standpoint of what we're doing in the market is we're serving as not only a demand aggregator, but also as a channel to market for large futures commissions merchants to be able to tap into small businesses. So this is an aggregate volume that's incredibly large that they've not been able to really harvest because of the high cost of acquisition for customers. That it's just not worth their time to be able to go down and serve a small ticket.
So can you talk about who you're competing against? What's the landscape right now on the customer segment that you're serving?
Right. Yeah. So currently, the SMB they doing it in a traditional way by fixed contract with the supplier. Now, currently in the market, there are big player like specialized hedging firms like Macquarie or like the big bank like Citibank. They provide such hedging product, but currently they only go after the big client, like the big corporate or the institution investor. The reason being the current product is too complex and they require minimum volume in order to make a meaningful like a hedging product. So there are like a few fintech startup in the US right now targeting SMB, but currently they don't have that much attractions like we've seen today.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Guardian. All right, and next up we have Umbo. Their mission is to reimagine the cochlear implant market with their patent MIT technology.
For 60 million people worldwide with severe hearing loss, cochlear implants or CIs are the only way to restore hearing. But current CIs require a bulky external device like this that's fragile, uncomfortable, and difficult to use. For the past 20 years, CI companies have pushed for fully invisible devices, successfully implanting the battery and the processor, but with one remaining roadblock, the microphone. They run into mainly two challenges: placement and performance. Having the right location to minimize picking up body noise like chewing and breathing, and having the right sensor technology to detect subtle motions to clearly capture sound. That's where Umbo comes in. Our implantable microphone technology is placed in the middle ear, minimizing body noise and enabling natural hearing. We have patented MIT technology to sense motion of the eardrum in nanometers, allowing it to capture the subtlest sounds like whispers and leaves rustling. We already have a working prototype that's been tested in human cadaveric ears, and we're working with CI companies to integrate our solution into our MVP by end of this year. We're tapping into $500 million components market, but with our technology enabling fully invisible cochlear implants, we believe we can accelerate adoption and unlock a $2.6 billion market potential. At Umbo, we're not just improving hearing, we're redefining how people hear.
I'll lead it off. Quick question about when you think about the future product, what is maintenance like? With something implantable, does that become an issue? And are there consumables? What's the lifetime of the microphone?
Yeah, so for typical cochlear implants, for external devices, you get upgrades, but for the internal component, they're meant to last for over 10 years. And so our microphone right now, which we're doing accelerated aging tests, is meant to last for over 10 years with the implanted portion.
Well, thanks. And then one follow-up, who are you selling to?
Yeah, our critical customers, sorry, can be leading manufacturers or emerging manufacturers. It's a pretty consolidated industry, so there's 3 main players, but there's also a huge opportunity in emerging markets like Asia, whereas that's where the emerging partners come from. So we're trying to talk to all of them to understand, to identify who's the best partner that we can work with to be a B2B supplier.
Thank you.
That was actually my question, which is a good question, but I have another alternative one. But so you talked a little bit about some of the competitive technologies and why you're superior. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that, what other alternatives exist today, and then what you think might also emerge. And one, like bone-anchored hearing aids or brainstem implants, they may not be applicable to all customers. I'd love to hear like a quick breakdown and when you think your device is the perfect fit versus others.
Yeah, so the big 3 cochlear implant companies have been really interested in this technology since the early 2000s. So Cochlear, the biggest one from Australia, had a clinical study in 2008. But the big companies take a very conservative approach where they're basically putting the existing external microphones and putting them under the skin. So where we think we have the competitive advantage is where we're sensing in the middle ear, so you can get better microphone quality. And there are companies like Envoy, which are doing middle ear implants, but they're sensing not in the location where we are, which is right behind the eardrum. And so their microphone quality is significantly worse than what we are currently measuring.
Excellent. Can you repeat the trial? I just didn't. Could you double click and give us more information on efficacy, the extent of the trial, numbers?
Yeah, so the current implantable microphone prototype, which we have at our booth, has been tested in human cadaveric ears at the Mass Eye and Ear Hospital just across the bridge. And so you can come hear some of our recordings, which are actually recorded with our microphone at our poster.
Can you talk about the team's background and also on the tech side? You mentioned it's protected by IP. What exactly is protected by the IP?
Yeah, so in terms of our team, we're a team of 2, and we're a medical component company, so we need a combination of technical expertise, but as you mentioned, having the ability to go to market efficiently. I think John's experience, I mean, he's been working on this for 4 years, and the accomplishments have been well proven through grants and publications. My background is more on launching smaller to larger hardware products end-to-end. But I think where we can really be a strong team is, I think we share a value of being empathetic for the whole value chain. So end users, clinicians, audiologists, ENTs, as well as our primary customers like the cochlear implant companies, and really drilling down into what's important to them, what are their priorities. So I think, yeah.
We also have a patent pending right now from a provisional that got converted for the research, for the core technology of the sensor and the amplifier.
All right, thank you, Umbo. Glad to hear that you guys have a prototype already. And next up, we have Crimson Scientific. This team is looking to develop a reusable single-piece ECG pad to enable faster, more accurate, and user-friendly cardiac diagnostics.
Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death worldwide. In emergency medicine, the mantra is time is muscle. The faster we can get a patient who's suffering from a heart attack to definitive treatment, the lower the mortality rate. One of the biggest bottlenecks for getting definitive treatment is the ECG, the electrocardiograms. It is the gold standard test used to diagnose cardiovascular disease. It's performed nearly 400 million times annually worldwide. But the current technology is slow. It takes on average 15 minutes to perform. It's highly inaccurate. Studies suggest that over 30% of ECGs are riddled with errors. And it's limited in its diagnostic capabilities. So at Crimson Scientific, our mission is to revolutionize cardiac diagnostics by making the ECG acquisition fast, simple, and accurate. We've developed this ECG pad that's AI-powered and flexible and reusable that conforms to any patient regardless of their size or gender. This is obviously just a prototype, but it works. And our goal is to reduce the acquisition time from 15 minutes to under 2 minutes, virtually eliminate errors just by the design of it, and simplify acquisition. My name is Mark Zachary, and if you're interested about revolutionizing cardiac diagnostics, join me.
Great job, Mark. Can you tell us your background?
Yes, so I'm an LGO student. I'm pursuing an MS in electrical engineering and computer science and an MBA at Sloan. And my co-founder, who's not here right now, is Dr. Michael Chetta. He's a veteran emergency medicine physician with over 25 years of experience, and he exited his private practice group into private equity. And then you guys.
My name is Kevin Jung, and I'm from the Biological Engineering Department of MIT. I'm a PhD student wrapping up my PhD.
And my name is James, and I'm a PhD student in nuclear physics, statistics, and data science.
I've got one. Thanks for all the intros and great job. You mentioned a few value propositions. I think I heard faster, more accurate, reusable, which I kind of maybe correlates to cost. What's number one? Like, what is the number one pain point?
Yeah, well, it really depends on the market that we're going to sell this into. Our beachhead market is to go after acute care because that's where the value propositions resonate the most. It's, again, in emergency medicine, you want to get an ECG done. 30% of patients that walk into the ECG, you might have a headache. They do an ECG on you. And that is really the first step to getting somebody to definitive treatment. So speed is the biggest, I would say, but also cost. So the advantage of this is that it reduces the capital cost that hospitals buy. Typical machines are $20,000. This is about $1,000 annually. We would sell it on an annual rate. So,
how do you determine the delta between current state versus the delivery on the accuracy of the device?
Yeah, you can look at the correlation coefficient between the reconstructed. So the beautiful part about this is that it actually has redundant signals. The current method is 10 electrodes that are applied, 4 on the limbs, 6 on the precordial leads. And for us, we have 25 on this version. Our next version will have 30. So it creates redundant signal, offering us this value proposition of improved diagnostics is actually because we are capturing more contact points and reconstructing a more accurate 12-lead ECG. But our goal would be to validate this, see if the reconstructed 12-lead is as accurate as the traditional method. And we can do that by just looking at the correlation of the two signals done simultaneously.
There are also some single-lead ECG technologies out there, like AliveCor and some others. Are those also would presumably offer really quick speed, but are they as accurate, or how do you guys compare to that technology?
There's a reason why you don't walk into the ED and they just have you do the Cardia device, right? Because the 12-lead ECG, or those are 12 differential signals across the chest, gives you the highest resolution or a good enough resolution of looking at the heart. We've taken an opposite approach to all those companies like the Apple Watch or Cardia, and we said, actually, we're going to oversample our array and we're delivering a 12-lead because the doctors are only used to seeing a 12-lead, but actually in the back end, we're storing a 30-lead system, which opens up the front to advanced analytics. That's what we're really excited about and hope to discuss it further during the demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Crimson Scientific. Very, very cool prototype. Now let's welcome Bond Health. Bond Health won 3rd place in the pitch competition in December. They're on a mission to transform clinical trial patient recruitment by matching patients with personalized trials.
We are Bond Health, and our aim is to dramatically improve how patients are recruited for clinical trials. This problem today, in the US alone, causes 1 in 3 trials to fail and costs pharma companies over $16 billion per year. Why? Because the traditional method of recruiting patients is antiquated and old school. We can do better. So our AI-powered platform is HIPAA compliant and works in a privacy-preserving manner. with the help of our hospital partners and our proprietary large language models, we analyze electronic medical records to identify patients that match the trial criteria. And independent research has shown that our approach achieves over 90% accuracy and saves half the time required for patient screening. Our team includes biomedical data scientists at Harvard Medical School and the Mass General Brigham Hospital, and a former Google and Meta software engineer currently at MIT. I myself am a student at Harvard Medical School, and I'm the past co-founder of a Kleiner Perkins Scout-backed startup that is still growing today. Now, for some exciting progress, we are in final negotiations with one of the largest clinical research organizations in the US, giving us access to over 1 million patient records. And as our models get better with more training, we believe that more hospital partners, pharma companies, and clinical research organizations will sign up in the US and internationally. So while we make money serving our clients, the pharma companies, our ultimate moral mission is to improve lives, and that is our bond with patients worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great initiative, great goals, well presented. This is a very widely known problem, and there are a lot of other people addressing it. So talk to me a little bit about how you, or tell us a little bit about how you are going to ensure that you get access to the largest pool of patient data, because a lot of people are seeking it, and it is much more difficult in practice than it seems at first. Do you have a kind of a special sauce that's going to help you to unlock that patient data and get permission to review it all?
Right, so I'll begin by talking a bit about our affiliation. So two of us are in the Harvard Medical School. We're affiliated with a lot of these hospitals, including Mass General Brigham Hospital. And in fact, we're working with them. We're working with hospitals like that and others in the Harvard affiliated system to be able to access the data. Along with that, one of our strategic advisors is an ex-board member of Eli Lilly. So, and he's been at Eli Lilly for over 30 years, and he's seen the potential in this solution, and he wants to support us in building it, which gives us the quick in into the pharma industry when required. So that really enables us to get that kind of data that we're looking for.
The relationships will help. Are you offering incentives for the hospitals and or the patients? I think ultimately you need permission from the patients as well, right? So how are you sort of sharing incentives or value among all of the other stakeholders to make sure that they agree?
Right, so the big incentive for clinicians, for example, healthcare systems, as well as the CROs, is the fact that traditional methods are pretty inadequate. And the way in which they do it today is that they use a very manual method, like using brochures and clinicians manually referring patients. But you can see why that would be inefficient. And instead, what we do is we use unstructured data that includes things like unstructured clinical notes and imaging data to automatically find those patients. And that was not possible before today because we didn't have transformers at that point in time. So that's what helps us add the number of patients that could be recruited, which is why they're incentivized to work with us compared to other competitors.
Great job. And then, so you understood everything you just said. So then once you've identified the prospective patient, who's doing the outreach? Are you planning to do that? So you build up your own population of patient who are eligible for trials?
Right, so so that's a good question because the point of our platform is to be end-to-end. And that means like apart from just that matching, we also make sure that we go all the way to the point where the patient is actually enrolled in that clinical trial. So that outreach is automated by us, and which also, again, distinguishes us from a lot of these other competitors out there.
Yeah, very interesting. You mentioned here it's 16 billion market, and you're making the entire process more efficient, which is great. It reduces the market size, but it makes it much more efficient and better, and the willingness to pay increases. Have you thought about the business model?
Right.
And if so,
no, of course. So our most urgent customers would be the pharma companies and CROs, which are clinical research organizations that run those clinical trials. And essentially the way in which these kinds of agreements work is that as they start a clinical trial and they want to recruit patients, they pay companies like us a lump sum to help them with this kind of recruitment process. And they'll be like, okay, we need to recruit 300 patients. We'll give you $250K for the year to complete that kind of recruitment for us. And that's what we help them with. And yeah, that's basically the process of how that business model works.
So follow up, you have to prove that the selection has been superior to the previous methods. how long does that take and how you're doing that? I think you mentioned you have pilots going on.
Yeah, so essentially that pilot is what is going to help us prove that our model is more efficient than any of the other competitors out there. And essentially it shows one, like how long we're taking to recruit the patients, and then how accurate is that patient screening process.
Sorry, last follow-up. Do you have a specialization, or you're generalist in this sense?
Yeah, so the good thing about because we're using transformer models, it enables us to go over a large scale of therapeutic areas, but we want to start with oncology just because that's one of the critical clinical trial recruitment problems today.
All right, thank you, Bond Health. And next up, we have Strive. Strive is redefining AI wearables through their smart insoles.
For elite athletes or just serious runners who are looking to improve their performance or reducing injury, having real-time access to their biomechanics data without actually going to a lab is essential. This is what we learn over and over again from talking to runners and elite athletes. And this is also where Strive to come in. With our 90% cost down for current off-the-shelf solution, our patent-pending sensor technology lets you embed sensor into textile, which you can just slide under your foot. And with over like 250 sensors of them under your foot, we can capture every detail of your biomechanics. Our proprietary AI algorithm then translate that into actionable feedback, optimizing your forms, performance, and preventing injuries. And as of today, we have pre-sold to over 1,000 users and partner up with top-tier physical therapists, Olympian runners, and Olympic coach. And we're happy to announce that we're shipping the first batch of our product this week and already generated 300K in revenues. And we're not just stopping here. We're expanding to everyday runners and also other sports that require you to put your foot on the ground, such as golf, tennis, snowboarding, and weightlifting, and much more from there. We're here to redefining the 500 billion sports and wellness market. And our team is built up for these challenges. We bring together Sequential founders, sensor and AI experts from MIT CSAIL, and also marketing and operation veterans. We're here to bridge innovation with real-world challenges. Strive is not just about a wearable, it's an evolution of human motion. Thank you so much. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. 2 questions. One, can you tell us about traction that you have in testing?
So we pre-sold through Kickstarter, and yeah, we pre-sold like 1,500 units on there. It's like.
I'm sorry, I meant my mistake. Can you tell me about your tests and what kind of demos you've completed?
Also, for example, we collaborated Olympic runner here in the US, and we also collaborated with Australian Institute of Sports to validate the data for them. So basically, yeah, we are validating currently with also physical therapy, but we don't have like a published result of like testing yet. But this, the data quality that we can get is just as same as what you can get at biomechanics data lab, but much cheaper. And also remotely, you can run on it.
I see. So is that the main value proposition? It's cheaper to get. It's easier to get. You don't have to.
Yeah. You don't need to go to a lab. You just run on your shoes. I have one on my shoes right now. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So there are other similar products on the market already. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about competitors and how you relate both to the insole, but then also just like how much better are you than a watch? Yep. Or like alternative technologies that aren't insole based as well?
Right now on the market, there aren't really someone like us have like a pressure sensor directly on their foot, like over 200 of them. But there are definitely a lot of running wearable data. And the thing that we are trying to make different is just in-depth biomechanics data. And at first, we are pushing to the elite athletes first. So these are really important to them, like how much power you are exerting, how much force you are putting on the foot, and are you pronated, are you supinated during the runs. So these are super important for them, and they are already getting that kind of data in biomechanics lab. But looking ahead, when we're scaling to everyday runners, the thing that we're looking at is encapsulate this like super like a lot of data into like an AI algorithm that can just guide users. We don't need to tell them, okay, what in-depth data you have, but more of just an actionable feedback for users. So this is never beyond attainable in a watch. So you can actually get better when you are running on this. But on the watch, you're basically getting like heart rate data and heart rate variation or like steps, but there isn't really like a coaching service that can help you get better. So that's how we come different in this market. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Strive. Let's now welcome Polygon. Polygon leverages 15 plus years of MIT research to design and manufacture an ultra-compact nuclear reactor.
Thank you. All right, nuclear energy is clean, firm, and sustainable source of electricity. That's what we need for the 21st century in order to decarbonize the grid. The problem or the challenge with nuclear today is the cost of making the plant. You can think of a nuclear plant in two pieces. You have the buildings and you have the nuclear hardware. The size of the nuclear hardware makes it large, so you have to assemble it and weld it on site during construction. This is inefficient and costs a lot of money. So why the nuclear hardware is actually very large? It turns out that we have very large steam generators or heat exchangers that are 20 meters high. It is about the height of this building and 6 meters in diameter. With our compact heat exchangers, we can do all that job, and it fits in my bag right there. We have been testing this at MIT for over 15 years, and now we can shrink the nuclear hardware, and we can make it in a factory, send it to the plant, ready to plug and operate. We're a team of engineers, including 3 MIT PhDs, and we're supported with top professors here at MIT and European universities. We're also supported by leaders in the industry. Our next step is to get regulatory approvals and start manufacturing our first units. Thank you.
Quick question on the last thing you just said. Actually, could you speak more to like your TRL, like your technology readiness level right now, and the second part of that is how long until you have a commercial sale? Like how long do you think the first part of the J-curve is for this?
Yeah, so there are two things I talked about. I talked about the heat exchangers. These are the pieces that we are introducing in nuclear. All the rest is actually what we call pressurized water reactors. These are the power plants that operate already for 90% of the power plants that we find today around the world. So the rest of the plant is already mature, and this is important because we are in an industry that takes forever to license or qualify any component. So we're essentially looking, what is the component that will get us the highest delta in terms of economics while requires less development costs? And this is the one that we found during my PhD. That was my topic.
Go ahead.
At this stage, do you have what is your estimate of the BOM, the bill of materials? What's the cost?
So the cost of the heat exchanger or the
whole system?
Okay, so we're talking 9 digits. So this is really, we don't want to lose economies of scale, but at the same time, we want to leverage learning. So essentially, our reactor will be 300 megawatt electric, and our system that we deliver will be around 500 to 750 millions. The reason behind that is that economies of scale. If we go very small, we lose that. But our system is compact enough. It's actually 40% more compact than traditional nuclear, that we can make it in the factory and then ship it to the site, ready to plug and operate. And this will essentially reduce the duration of construction from 10 years or even more for existing nuclear power plants to less than 2 years.
Follow up, how does that cost, you said 500 to 750 million, how does that compare to what the incumbent reactor?
Yeah, so we're essentially, if you look at the last nuclear power plant that was built in the US, it was expected to cost $15 billion. It costed $35 billion. So we're talking, 10x in terms of a difference in terms of the cost per unit of energy generated.
For just the reactor, or for the whole plant? Like how does the reactor?
For the whole plant, yeah. So essentially, in the department, we have a detailed cost modeling tool. It has over 800 system structures and components that go into the plant. And so we plug our system when we change, the traditional systems with our system, and that's the cost effect that we see.
So there are other compact nuclear reactor technologies out there, like NuScale, Westinghouse, Oklo, Kairos Power, all have some offering. How do you guys compare to those? How significantly better are you than that sort of state-of-the-art current micro technology?
Yeah, do you want to take it?
So what we propose next to all those other SMR companies that we can see on the market is going to be the speed to licensing, because this is really a race. And thanks to this technological analysis that we did at the financial level, we know which component we had to optimize, and this is what we did. So what we propose is the fastest way to licensing, the fastest way to put electrons on the grid.
We have slides comparing, all our systems compared to the incumbents, and we can talk about it.
Thanks so much, Polygon. Let's give it up for these guys. Next up, we have Cognify, which aims to streamline user testing for product teams by using AI to predict interactions with UI and UX. Let's give it up.
Imagine a world where digital product validation takes minutes, not months. My name is Morty, founder of Cognify. And as a prior head of product, I found user testing painful. Long test timelines, unreliable test data, and risk to user experience. Cognify uses AI to streamline user testing for product and e-commerce teams. We do this by using synthetic populations to predict how users interact with UI UX. So instead of relying on traditionally generated user data, we simulate user behavior at scale, where each synthetic user assumes behavioral characteristics of real people, demographics, personas, interaction patterns. We take thousands of interaction patterns to generate real-time insights into how your users might connect with your design and content, how we can improve conversion rates and user journeys, and how to optimize and speed up A/B testing, allowing for better and faster product decision-making. I'm an MIT MBA with prior experience founding and scaling enterprise software companies. My co-founder and best friend, Sami, is a math PhD with deep expertise in AI, also a repeat founder. And we recently onboarded Ian to our team with deep domain knowledge in product analytics and design. We have 4 potential customers who are excited to try our product. So join us in shaping the future of product decision-making. Validation in minutes, not months.
Great job. So you mentioned you have 4 alphas that are, so the product is built. And what are they, have they been banging on the product so far? Have they, how long? And what feedback are you getting?
Great question. Thank you, Maya. So we are in early stages of building the product. The prototype is done. We're building the early models now, and we're going to demonstrate that to you in a little bit. Out of the 4 customers or potential customers, we're a few weeks away from LOI. And we hope to close one of those LOIs this week with a regional Series B fintech company that focuses on B2C and B2C payday lending.
Can you talk about how big is the market and how easy is to deploy it for adaptability? Those 2 things.
Thank you, Sebastian. So our focus here is product managers within e-commerce and software businesses. Now in the US, there's about 20,000 software companies. E-commerce, the numbers range, but you could say 1 to 3 million. That's not our focus. Our focus is primarily on the Series B plus businesses that already have analytics integrated into their technology stacks. And to answer your second question, because they have analytics already integrated and they've already been able to build a case for such technologies, we'll find that integration is fairly straightforward. Not like traditional enterprise SaaS, 3 to 6 months, but more so a couple of weeks.
How much do you charge for it or envisioning to charge? I mean, how many, you mentioned a number of companies. I'm trying to get a sense of this, the size of the market you're attacking.
Sure. So a great peer for us would be a company like Amplitude. They do about $200 million in sales, 2,000 customers, about $100,000 in annual recurring revenue per customer. So that gives you a rough sense for how much we expect to charge, between $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue. And in terms of our commercial model, the market speaks, when the market speaks to us, they say, usage-based, tier-based. That's really what resonates with our customers. So we're going to be adopting a tier usage-based model, and we're going to try to make sure that our contribution margin from day one is positive by plugging in contribution margin on top of the compute cost of running these synthetic users.
So this is like a very logical application for AI technology. It's a real pain point. So kudos for finding that. That's great. That also means that others will enter the space, and there are already people offering similar-ish technologies. Talk a little bit about the competitive landscape and why you think you're going to win. What is the variable that's going to define the winner? The best tech, the fastest sales, the cheapest cost. What is the variable that will define the outcomes?
Thank you, John. So the way we like to think of competition is across 2 axes. On the x-axis is speed to insights, and on the y-axis is quality of insights. Cognify is high speed, high quality insights. When you look at traditional user testing and user interview tools, you could probably say low speed and medium quality insights. Now there's a few new players coming out that try to automate parts of user interview testing. We classify them as medium speed medium quality insights. And then you have general PM intuition, which is high speed but low quality insights. As for the secret sauce, we think this is a data play. Our vision is to become the largest database for user interaction data in the world. And we've coined the term Cognify Flywheel. It starts with data. The more data we have, the more powerful our models become. The more powerful our models become, the more customers we can onboard, and that keeps the flywheel going.
Thank you so much, Cognify. Let's give it up. Let's now welcome Wise AI. Wise AI is an AI co-pilot for senior care facilities to deliver proactive care, reduce hospitalizations, and improve profitability.
Senior care homes and nursing facilities are facing a huge caregiver shortage crisis. And because of this, there's preventable hospitalizations that are just adding up due to caregiver oversight. And falls alone contribute to 90% of ER visits, and the fall rate is twice as high in facilities than anywhere else. Wise AI is an AI co-pilot for senior care homes and nursing facilities. Our software helps predict and prevent health risks in real time by integrating seamlessly with existing audio-video monitoring devices that are already in use in 80% of facilities. Or they could choose affordable off-the-shelf devices for as little as $14. Wise AI analyzes audio and video cues to not only detect falls, but also predict falls with 98% accuracy. In addition to this, we also detect other conditions that could lead to hospitalizations, such as detecting early signs of UTI by tracking bathroom visits, hydration, mobility, sleep quality, and even depression. Wise AI is software first, and we're not building hardware, so it's highly scalable. We're also highly accurate, and we're also 60 to 80% cheaper cost than competitors. We are a team from Harvard, MIT, and Stanford, and we have a range of experiences from AI building startups to health tech consulting too. And help us transform elderly care by helping 50,000 facilities across the US reduce hospitalizations for 8.2 million older adults, because the alternative is nothing.
Well, first, great pitch. Thank you. It immediately strikes me that there's probably, like, it's a great space for AI to kind of help the care facilities that may have this, shortage of resources and staff. How did you settle on this first pain point of falls? Can you speak to that?
Every single facility that we spoke with, so we did 20 customer researches covering like 100,000 residents, primarily in Boston and India, and everyone mentioned falls, and this actual research that shows that 90% of hospitalizations is related to falls in facilities.
Thank you. And then one quick follow-up. You mentioned your software first, but for this first pain point, what kind of sensor integrations are we talking about? Is this optical, or how are we?
Yeah, so it's audio and video data. So the facilities that we are piloting with, they're already using infrared cameras, and they're manually looking at the video feeds to make sure that everything is okay. And there's a lot of incidents where somebody sleeps during a shift and overlooks care risks or health risks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So just to have a clear view on what you're doing, are you reporting falls, or are you helping predict those falls?
We're doing both. Yeah. So our software analyzes mobility insights over a period of time and tells you how likely is it that the person is about to fall. And we also track near fall situations. And when a fall does happen, we instantly alert caregivers. And we also have another mechanism around it. If they don't respond within a stipulated period of time, we also alert emergency services so they get timely care.
Okay, so then you have an alert, someone's about to fall. What's the response for a facility? They follow them?
Yeah, so it instantly alerts caregivers. So the point being that we're also reducing caregiver fatigue in having to monitor residents throughout the day, and they get alerted only when it is needed.
Quick reaction is everything. That we cannot allow facilities to let patients lie on the ground for several hours, which is reality now in many cases, unfortunately. So, and we basically can save lives, and we can basically provide help in 5-10 minutes.
And the reason why we're also tracking bathroom visits is because most falls happen inside bathrooms, and our algorithm basically points out that this person has like been inside the washroom for so and so time, and you should probably go check on them if they're not like coming out within a certain period of time.
It sounds like you're installed at a test facility. Is that right? Am I
So
hearing
we'll be
correctly?
testing
Tell
across
us.
80 residents later this month.
So you will be installed
we will
with 80 residents and using their existing cameras and right? Yep. Great.
Let's give it up for Wise AI. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have HeartSight. HeartSight is an AI-powered technology that detects heart attacks in real time using only your smartwatch. Give it up.
Thank you. A third of you in this room will have a heart attack at some point in your life. Surprisingly, yes, I know. Surprisingly, many will only have symptoms that feel like nausea, dizziness, or acid reflux. I have acid reflux every day, and I only take medications. But even if I did go to the hospital, there's an 80% chance that the hospital will not be equipped to treat my heart attack, so I'll have to be transferred to another one. All these delays in detection and care of heart attacks are the reason why it remains a leading cause of death in the world. HeartSight is an AI-powered technology that uses your smartwatch's EKG to detect your heart attack. And we can save 25,000 lives and more than $5 billion in the US every single year.
Our patent-pending technology is the first to detect heart attacks instead of just abnormal heart rhythms, and we're actively collecting a proprietary data set that puts us closer to market than any of our competitors. Our business model includes a B2B component where insurance companies will license our algorithm in partnership with smartwatch companies, and a B2C component where our early adopters can pay for our app directly. We have already received interest from potential customers and partners. We've published and presented at the largest cardiology conference in the US, and we're working closely with partners and collaborators at MIT and other top institutions to bring our solution to market. So join us at HeartSight, where we can detect sooner, treat faster, and live longer. Thank you.
Great pitch, well done, and obviously huge problem and opportunity. So great job. There are technologies, as you noted, in watches already to identify irregular heartbeats. Can you tell us a little bit about what is the unique difference that you guys are able to identify? How are you able to detect a heart attack versus just an arrhythmia or some other minor complication?
Absolutely. So as you pointed out, there are the smartwatches out there are able to detect only heart arrhythmias and not heart attacks. Our technology is a deep learning-based model that is able to look deeply into smartwatch EKG data and detect a heart attack that has happened anywhere on the heart. Now, there are some other products out there. There's only one product in the market that is able to detect a heart attack, and that's called HeartBeam. However, HeartBeam is a medical-grade device that is chest applied, and it needs to be calibrated before each use with different maneuvers. Now, less than a handful of people in this room have heard of HeartBeam, let alone own it, but almost everyone here has a smartwatch or knows someone who has a smartwatch. So what we're doing here is that we're democratizing heart attack detection with a commonly available device.
How did you train that data set? Because you need the input from the wearables to lead to the causation or the effect, which is a heart attack, and that's really hard to do. How did you source that data set? Because I assume people that you're competing with are the people that have that data at the moment.
So the data that we used is a 12-lead EKG, and it's been already established that one of those leads is the lead that is measured by your smartwatch. So that's the data that we used to measure. However, going forward, so that's our retrospective data. Prospectively, we are in the process of getting IRB approval for a prospective study, which we are collaborating with some some clinicians, in which we will be collecting smartwatch data from patients who present to the ED with chest pain.
So right now it's EKG data.
Right now it is EKG data. That is.
You have to link that to the wearable data then.
That is correct.
Have you done that already?
We will be doing that in the next few months.
Just a quick clarification. The 12-lead EKG that you would do in an emergency department measures the heart's electrical activity in 12 different directions. One of them has been established and has been shown to be equivalent to the one that a smartwatch can get, which is the signal that comes from measuring the circuit that would be formed if you were to close your arms in a loop that would cross the heart in a horizontal direction, and that would be called lead 1.
You say that's been proven how, where, sorry.
Yeah, the amount of information that's present in lead 1 has been shown to be equivalent, even though the quality of the signal might be different. And this is what we need the extra fine-tuning for. But the information that's present in that electrical direction when you measure the heart is equivalent in both.
Thank you so much, HeartSight.
Thank you so much.
Round of applause. Next up, we have Code 4. Code 4 aims to cut manual paperwork in law enforcement agencies by developing a SaaS platform that integrates body cameras to transcribe real-time audio, video into structured reports.
Thank you.
Big round of applause.
Imagine this. A police officer is on a grueling 12-hour graveyard shift. He has responded to traffic stops, domestic violence, and neighborhood incidents. When he gets back home, he has to file hours upon hours of reports rather than going and eating lunch. This is what millions of officers face around the nation. What we hope to do at Code 4 is to create an AI-powered platform that is able to transcribe videos, transcribe them based on audio, video, and geolocation data using our in-house VLM, or Vision Language Model, to basically sync up and really tell a story of what is going on in each incident and each event. This way, we're better able to understand the story of what is going on and be able to have better reports. The gold standard on the market right now is basically only taking the audio and putting it into a GPT wrapper for them to create a summary. Code 4 aims to solve this through our VLMs. The results for Code 4 is compliant-ready department-specific reports, labeled data for police simulation training, and officers, freeing up officers so that they can do what they love to do, which is protecting their communities. This is a huge market. Over 18,000 departments need this worldwide, and just skipping classes and talking to these Cambridge and Harvard and MIT police, I can tell that they want this product.
Thank you so much, Code 4. We're going to take it to questions now.
Thank you. Great pitch. Great problem you've identified. I am curious, how much of what you're presenting to the departments is like just taking what you're doing today and saving time versus improving the insights that can be had?
Yeah, so this is a good question. And so what we're trying to do right now is basically collect all of this data, train our vision language models. And we do think that police officers, they spend around upwards of 3 to 4 hours every single day just filing reports. We think that we can do it more efficiently, and we're not trying to replace the report filing process, but rather aid in a lot of repetitive information that they're putting in every single report, aid in filing those so that they can just go back, review each report to see if there's any discrepancies of, let's say the suspect name is written wrongly or the location is wrongly described. They're able to do that in a much shorter amount of time.
Thank you. And then another quick one. Can you tell us about any pilots you've done or demonstrations of your?
Yeah, so I ran out of time, but I meant to say that we also have a couple LOIs. So one of our main departments that we're trying to target is NYPD. We have a few connections in that area. And specifically on the police simulation side, we know companies like Orama that's doing these type of things so that they need kind of like a middleman, because there's a ton of gigabytes of just police data sitting there in police departments. And there's a ton of need to train police simulation data, whether it be for military purposes, whether it be to train officers on how to de-escalate situations. And so I think our beachhead market is going to be focused on being that middleman, being able to transcribe all of these things using VLMs, which has never been done before. A lot of these other companies just use audio, use these VLMs to semantically tell what is going on in each situation so that they're able to kind of transcribe these videos at these simulations.
Thanks. So no pilots complete yet, but in the process of?
Yes. So we're actually planning to do our beta in around 2 weeks, but yeah, no pilots completed yet.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the team, and then also just a second question on if you've encountered any hesitancy surrounding sort of transparency and liability for the officers?
Yeah, of course. So I'm currently an MIT freshman studying AI and brain cognitive science. And my co-founder is also an MIT freshman studying math and computer science as well. And the reason why we kind of hopped into this market is because we're both Boy Scouts. And so we always volunteer at these police departments. And then regarding transparency, I do agree, like, we can't just like jump in and then like try to help these federal police officers. So that's why we have to start with the local departments first, try to solve their problems first. And as I said, we try to serve as like the middleman for a lot of very existing gaps in the markets right now.
Thank you so much, Code 4. A big round of applause for Code 4. Great job. Last but certainly not least, let's welcome Logtha. Logtha is a mobile app that uses AI to provide personalized speech therapy for disorders like lisps, stuttering, and aphasia.
Thank you very much. Okay, so today I have this book, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Goleman. It's actually a wonderful read for those who didn't read it. But let's imagine that I tell you to stand and read one page from this book in front of the audience. For some, this could be a piece of cake. But for others, this could be an absolute nightmare. This is one part of the harsh reality for 900 million people worldwide who face speech disorders. And our solution, Logtha. Logtha is a visual speech therapy plan solution. It provides personalized treatment plans in collaboration with community groups in order to help you build confidence. We offer daily exercises, assessments, and even like one-to-one sessions with professionals. And with the help of AI, each treatment plan is unique to the patient's needs and progress. And we have already seen remarkable traction with over 65,000 users of our app from over 80 countries. And what was our marketing budget? 0. People continue to talk about Logtha because it delivered real results with 80% validated success rate. Our large community was built entirely through word of mouth. Get the joke? So now imagine a world where every voice is heard and every word is spoken with confidence. This is not just a dream. It's a reality we can build together. So let me ask you, what story will you tell when your voice is finally heard? Join us and let's make that moment happen for millions. Thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank you.
And bringing impact to many people. I think I heard you say you're in 80 countries?
80.
80.
Yeah.
And so that's fabulous. How are you? Who's creating the content and the I think you referred to like treatment plans, because they're in 80 different languages. So how are you sourcing the material and creating the plans?
Okay, very great question. So actually, like our main target market right now, and like the main version of the app, is for the MENA region, especially like for Arabic speakers. But we are also like providing a version in English. And the good thing about speech disorders is that basically you are training a muscle. So like this muscle works the same way in different languages. The only thing we need to modify basically is providing the words so that like the patient can train on, like for the daily exercises. But other than that, the muscle is trained the same way. So that's like a good part of our like solution. And also like we are partnering with about 14 professors in like speech therapy who are also like evaluating the efficiency of like the exercises we are providing, and this all is backed up with research.
That's great. And are you? How are you charging the end user?
Okay, so there are like two basically like business models. So there is like the B2C and B2B. So for the B2C, we are working with a freemium model where there are like many features that are available for free. But then there are others like AI assessments that can be paid with a monthly subscription. And also we are providing speech therapy packages with professionals so that like the user can schedule appointments with a professional, and we receive like 20 to 30% of the package price. And also like in terms of B2B, we are working also like as a SaaS. So basically we are providing the service to speech therapy centers in different parts of the world, and especially in Saudi Arabia. We actually got partners with about like $500,000. And that's like how we basically provide this service to centers so that they could automate many parts of like the manual tiresome process.
I'm sorry if I missed this. Do you have revenue?
Yeah, we have revenue.
Do you mind saying ballpark? How much?
Yeah, okay, so basically like the revenue we have in terms of the app, it's about $4,000, so like $4,000 per month for like active subscribers. And basically like we have an operation cost of $2,000. So that's like $2,000 in like profit. And mainly also we are providing like the SaaS solution, and that's like not part of like the income. And that's usually like on a case-by-case basis, like depending on like the company we are dealing with.
Can you tell us a little bit about the data of the users of the app? If you have churn, are they increasing month to month? What's the behavior? What are you expecting?
Okay, so for the data, so basically like users agree that we use the data in order like to train like speech recognition. And the way it works is that we have currently about 90,000 records of people like who have like speech disorders. And this has two benefits. Like first off, it actually improves like the accuracy and evaluation, like precision of our model. And second off, it's actually working as a very good database for training automatic speech recognition. So let's say something like Siri. So Siri, when like it tries to understand someone in Arabic who has speech disorders, it has a very, very bad accuracy. And actually, we are the second company overall in the MENA region who is using databases of sounds in order to train like automatic speech recognition models for those who have specifically speech disorders.
That's great. Thank you so much, Lothka. Great job.
You.
Let's give another big round of applause to our competitors. Thank you so much. So we'll start off by first inviting our competitors and our illustrious judges to head outside to the booths for the second half of this competition. Judges, feel free to head on over there. And for our audience in here, voting for the audience choice is now open. You will have until 9 p.m. Eastern time to vote. If you're in the room, which you all are here, please scan the QR code and cast your vote using the unique voting code that you got on the card that you got when you walked in. After this, feel free to head on out. We have a brief reception with food and refreshments set up for you all, and feel free to join the competitors with their booths and learn more about these ideas. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you all enjoyed the brief reception and had the opportunity to speak with competitors at their respective booths. Now, we are thrilled to bring our program tonight to its exciting conclusion. Just a reminder, tonight we'll be presenting a few prizes. The Audience Choice Award winner, which you have just selected, will receive $1,000. The third place winner will receive $1,000. The second place winner will receive $3,000, and the grand prize winner will receive $10,000. The 100K competition is driven by student initiative, and as you clearly saw tonight, a lot of passion. Thank you all for coming tonight and spending this evening with us. It was a pleasure for us to be with you. We are now super excited to announce this year's Accelerate winners and close this very, very special evening. And now to announce our winners, the Audience Choice Award winner who will be receiving $1,000 is Heartsight.
Okay, and now for our third place prize. Drum roll, please. Polygon. Congratulations. You want to step up a bit? Yeah. All right, let's give him a big round of applause. And now for our runner-up, the biggest drum roll yet. Come on, let's hear it. Okay, Guardian. These checks are slippery. Here you go. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Can we get off of here? All right, and for the biggest prize of the night, the 10K check, let's hear it. This prize goes to the Danny Lewin Memorial Prize. 10K goes to Umbo. Come on, let's hear it. A little more energy. I know it's late out here. Congratulations. Thank you so much. We're going to do some pictures, so competitors and judges, please don't go anywhere. But just one last round of applause to our amazing competitors, judges, the AV, our organizing team. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.